not only your presence, but where you're located.
Sheldon Ball. Ernie Harris.
Here, I'm in Frankfurt.
Dave Nicholas.
Here I am in Frankfurt.
Tanya Pullen.
Here and coming to you from Greenup County.
Gail Russell.
Yes, here at the bylaw office in Jefferson County, Kentucky.
Arnold Simpson.
Here in Frankfurt.
Anthony Wilhoit.
Here in Frankfurt.
Okay, it appears as though we have a quorum and duly constituted to do business. Can we turn up the sound for our folks on Zoom? Because I can't really hear them. One of the joys of getting old is you lose high frequency hearing. And those two females both have high frequency voices.
Tanya, can you say something to see if...
Yes, can you hear me?
Now speak.
Can you hear me? Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
That's it.
Okay, perfect.
it works.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. And the first order of business is the approval of minutes from the July 12th, 2022 meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Any additions, corrections, snide remarks? Appearing to be none. Without objection, the minutes are approved. We'll go into staff report and recognize Laura for our staff report.
Thank you, Chairman Nicholas. It's great to see you all here in person and on Zoom. For the second time, we're in person, which is great. And we're also streaming on the LRC site for folks who want to watch. As usual, I'm so proud of our staff's work during this time. It's just amazing how much these folks get done, and as usual, we've been busy. In terms of just general goings on, I went to the National Conference of State Legislatures and was on a panel, an ethics panel there. Unfortunately, I brought COVID back with me. It didn't go to the other people in the office, but I've recovered. I'm okay. So. But I'm really thankful for the staff who kept everything going, and probably didn't even notice that I was at home. So that was good. Emily also was asked to speak at the U.S. Asia Rule of Law program, which I think is really great that they asked her to do that, and she did that via Zoom. And of course, telling people about our code and how. And then we also had, I also was asked to, the Louisville Metro Council is doing some revisions to their code. So I, via Zoom, I appeared at one of their committee meetings on that and gave them, they just wanted an overview of the code. So, and they had a lot of good questions. So that was good. In terms of staff work and things like that, we're still working, and we've got the office open, and again, we're being flexible, and if people have designated days that they can work from home, or if they just need to work from home that day, it's fine. So we're doing hopefully nothing, knock on wood, nothing extraordinary to report in that way. Turning to the things in your book, the budget is in good standing. Of course, Tom Hampton keeps us on the straight and narrow, and that looks good. And you've got the last 2 months in there of the financial report. So if you've got any questions or anything about that.
Any questions on the financial status? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the financial report.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any questions? All who favor the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered.
Okay. We've also had obviously a lot of informal opinions, and also if anyone has any questions, general questions, feel free. Or if there are specific things, again with names, we need to do that in closed session. So.
That looks like almost a record, all those informals. Wow. We've all been busy.
A lot of questions, and of course, we're coming up on an election, General Assembly election, so that engenders, as you know, a lot of issues. So yeah. Okay. The next thing is these recommended changes, and we brought these to you in June, and you all had a few changes. So Emily's going to present that for you all.
Thank you, Laura, and it's great to see the members of the commission, and I noticed Sheldon Ball has been able to join us, so good to see you, Sheldon. Yes. All right. So on the recommended changes, just as a reminder from last month, we don't have to, as a commission, make any recommendations. This year, the law requires that we make the recommendations in odd-numbered years by July the 1st. But we considered your comments at the July meeting, and we have revised our recommended changes in line with your all's comments. We've kept the recommendation about defining and prohibiting sexual harassment and discrimination. There's a recommendation that we clarify that lobbyists receive electronic notification of their registration and not a card. And we have recommended that the legislature amend the prohibition against employer contributions during the session to clarify that it does not apply to statewide candidates for office. You'll recall that they amended the provision that allows legislators to accept the contribution, but they didn't amend the provision that prohibited the employer contribution. And the reason for this recommendation is housekeeping and to prevent an inadvertent violation of the code by an employer. So those are the recommended changes. If you all would like to send these to the legislature, you could approve them and we'll do that. Or we don't have to do it this year. We can wait until next year. So if you've got any questions.
Does everybody understand that two-part, that inconsistency thing that was passed? And what we've asked them to do is to eliminate the inconsistency by allowing those entities to give campaign contributions. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure. Yes.
Does that make sense to you folks on Zoom? Silence is deafening.
You might want to pull your microphone a little closer to you, maybe.
Do our folks on Zoom, do you all understand the reason that we are doing that, straightening out what the legislature actually did only part of? I'm going to assume that means yes. Are you looking for a motion for us to do this? Approval?
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion that we approve the prospective legislative changes as outlined by Emily? Motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I'm sort of troubled that I don't know that they're hearing me.
Tanya, can you hear?
If you folks are hearing what
I can barely hear him. I'm making do. I'd hate to ask for any special consideration, but if folks could speak up a little, it might make our lives easier, but I can barely hear, yes.
Gail, can you hear us?
I can barely hear. So I don't know if there's any technician that can turn things up there or.
As soon as we go into executive session, our technician's gonna fix that for us.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, just.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll have you where you can hear in just a minute. We have a motion and a second. All those who favor the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and it is so ordered.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, just a comment about what Emily said about whether we propose this to the legislature now or wait a year. Just a thought, and we have elections coming up this year, but we don't have any for 2 years. And maybe when the elections happen, something else will percolate to the top that we need to change in our ethics. I mean, who knows? I mean, we know we've got this one little glitch right now that was an oversight.
Right.
So since there's no immediate need to make these changes, then maybe if something else pops up during this election cycle, we can add that to this oversight
Okay.
in preparation for the next year. It's just a thought. And if the staff has any thoughts about that or perspective, I'd appreciate hearing it.
My thought, Senator Harris, would be that we go ahead and we finalize these changes and send them over. And then if something does come up, we can always add that after. That would be my thought.
You know, that's a good idea because that gives the folks that are going to write the rules
Right.
another hearing, another year to say, oh yeah, we did mess this up, or this was an oversight. So therefore, it'll be another review to say, yeah, we need to fix. I like your idea. So I think I would agree with the staff to go ahead and forward it over there.
Okay.
We appreciate your comment and your recommendation too, that we continually look at our code and make adjustments as needed or make recommendations for adjustments.
Okay. At this point, we're going to, the chair is going to request a motion that the commission go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61810, sub 1, sub C, and K to discuss complaints.
So moved. I move that the commission goes into executive session for your request for a motion.
Second.
All who favor the motion signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we are going to go into executive session. We got to give our technology folks